Good evening, I'm Alicia Malone, and tonight on TCM we are kicking off our spotlight on the history of science fiction in movies, appropriately starting with early sci-fi. This genre has been part of cinema since its very beginning, and in the early 1900s, Georges Méliès made what is considered to be the first complete sci-fi movie. And that is what we have for you now. It's A Trip to the Moon from 1902. This is a short fantasy about a group of astronomers who travel to the moon inside a bullet-like container which is shot out of a cannon and lands in the eye of the moon, giving us that now iconic magical image. And it's appropriate that this film still feels quite magical because Georges Méliès was a magician. In the late 1800s, when the new motion picture cameras started to be all the rage, Méliès realised he could incorporate films into his act, making his illusions even more dazzling. He experimented with different camera tricks and special effects like slow motion, double exposure, hand colour tinting, animation, and many more techniques still used today. This film remains his most famous, influencing everything from German Expressionism to Luis Buñuel's Surrealism and American director Martin Scorsese. So let's begin our history of science fiction with Georges Méliès and his 1902 film, A Trip to the Moon. Georges Méliès based A Trip to the Moon on two books, From the Earth to the Moon by Jules Verne and The First Men in the Moon by H.G. Wells. Méliès always had a hand in every part of his productions. Here, he wrote the script, created the prototypes for the costumes, was the film's editor, he painted the sets and created the models out of plaster and clay. He also recruited the actors. The girls playing the stars were music hall singers and chorus girls, and the Selenites were acrobats. A Trip to the Moon was a huge success, and the print was actually pirated several times to play in the US without permission from Georges Méliès. After that, he set up an office in New York so he could copyright his own films in this country. 2 years after our short, Méliès made another film based on a Jules Verne novel called The Impossible Voyage, which was about a trip to the sun. But our trip through the early history of science fiction continues next on TCM with a landmark German silent film from director Fritz Lang. Don't miss it.